an amazing sight. So B-25 up front, Mustang on the left, Corsair on the right, P-38 in the back. The P-38 of course is by Lockheed, and we just saw the Electra earlier on, and you can see the heritage I think. The Mitchell is also North American, named after Billy Mitchell, one of the great pioneers of United States aviation in the 1920s and 1930s, infamously court-martialed for calling out the US Navy, and ruined effectively, but a brilliant man and pioneer of air power and of one of the early bombermen. Some of the great aviators and aviation commanders, air leaders of the United States Army Air Force in the Second World War, people like Toohey Spots, Hap Arnold, who was the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Army Air Force, Ira Aker, to name but three. They were all kind of disciples of Billy Mitchell. The B-25 could get up to 270, 280 miles an hour if it really needed to. Cruising speed of 230, which is pretty nimble. Very versatile. I was talking earlier on about the need to destroy bridges and marshalling yards in advance of D-Day. An absolute non-negotiable prerequisite for that operation across the Channel. The actual invasion itself. Had to clear that airspace. Had to slow up the German ability to reinforce the bridgehead once it was formed in Normandy. And it was those medium bombers like the B-25, like the B-26, that were doing the hard yards, flying in low at kind of 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, bombing from very, very low heights with incredible precision. And this plane, amazingly, was flying operationally until 1979. Still being used in Korea and Vietnam War. And breaking away to do its own display now. And honestly, people, we're really lucky to see it flying. There's so few of them left now. Just a sniff under 10,000 built ever. And it's always the heavies that get all the glory, really, the B-17 Flying Fortresses. Second part of the war, when Allied air power was really running roost. Served all around the globe, all theatres, Italy, Africa, Far East, of course Northwest Europe as well.
Must give you goosebumps watching it, James. It's just this beautiful aeroplane. It's been flown today by Frederick Handelman, one of the Flying Balls pilots who also flies the Flying Ball DC-6, and he's very much enjoying flying this today.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. You can see how kind of manoeuvrable it is. I mean, it's really much more. It's a bomber, for goodness sake. Look at it, how it's lifting around the sky. It's pretty delicately, isn't it? I see that and I just think of these planes flying in formation over France, I don't know, early May 1944, ahead of the invasion, to attack some bridge over the River Loire or something, coming in low. And the amazing thing is that these bombers, these twin-engine bombers like the Mitchell, destroyed every single bridge over the River Seine. much of northwest Europe by the middle of April. The biggest danger to these planes flying in the weeks just before D-Day was really from flak anti-aircraft guns on the down below, and of course if you're operating at such low heights you've got very little room for manoeuvre if anything goes wrong. But their speed and their agility certainly counted. You know, obviously it's much harder for anti-aircraft guns to hit something that's moving fast. And they were incredibly successful. Another major operation was Operation Strangle, which in April 1944 in Italy, ahead of the last major attack, Operation Diadem, the Battle for Rome, which was launched on the night of the 11th of May 1944. And Operation Strangle was, as its name suggests, all about, again, inhibiting the Germans' ability to reinforce the front, destroying railway lines, blowing up bridges, hitting marshalling yards, and yet again, the Mitchells and the other medium bombers were mainstays of this, operating very successfully in the Mediterranean.
Over to your right. In the lead now we have the P-38 pulling up into a 3-ship loop with that P-51 on his left wing and the Corsair on the right. Amazing formation as they apex the top of the loop. Just the wrong time there, certainly for all you photographers trying to get that second formation loop. P-38 being flown by Raymond Reedman, who it sounds like he has the worst job in the world. He is the chief fixed-wing pilot for the Flying Bulls, so he gets to fly all of the fixed-wing aircraft in the Flying Bulls inventory. The DC-6, the B-25, the Lightning, the Mustang and the Corsair, so rather envious of his job. worth pointing out that flying formation aerobatics is a skill in itself, but to do it in 3 different types of aircraft, where the aircraft perform very differently, the speed differential that they're on top of these manoeuvres, the wing loading as the speed changes, every one of them is different. So the pilot's working very hard and doing a grand job doing this routine. Expertly piloting the P-51 is Eskil Amdahl. Eskil is a former Norwegian Air Force test pilot and latterly Airbus test pilot. So he has flown the F-35 Lightning, the F-16, the F-104 Starfighter, the Sea Fury, the Eurofighter Typhoon, and even the MiG-15. So definitely got a logbook with lots of different types. So very, very experienced test pilot. He's on the left wing of this formation, flying that P-51.
with Corsair is Eric Prison. Eric is a pilot who has been flying one of those types of drivers who started with aircraft pilots and that's what he's flying good flying very experienced. And it's 22 and 3 this one because the engines might be performance limited, as you can see a good example, Eskil just cut the corner there. He's flying a smaller loop than the P-38 to try and cut the corner and prevent him going longer as he rolls out slightly above him. It's called lead and lag, and it was definitely a dogfighting principle during the Battle of Britain, Second World War.
The P-38 is definitely one of my favourite warbirds. It just looks so good in flight. It doesn't have the fame of the Mustang or the Thunderbolt or, of course, the Spitfire. But an awesome plane and
yeah, it's like some numbers going, here they come now. Shut up, just watch this. Absolutely beautiful. During COVID, we did something called the Armchair Air Show. We didn't go have real air shows, so we did an online one for charity Aerobatic. And one of the features I did was called Lightning Strikes Thrice. So we covered the P-38, the English Electric Lightning, and also the F-35 Lightning II. And by far my favourite of the three, I have to say, is the P-38. It's just such a stunning aircraft. Of course, the English Electric Lightning was, growing up as a kid, I had pictures of that all over my bedroom wall. But I do absolutely admire the P-38.
US First Fighter Group was equipped with these. I agree with you. I just think it just looks fantastic. Interestingly, it's equipped with the Allison engine, the same one that kind of failed in the Mustang, but where it didn't work. You know, it's horses for courses, isn't it? And an engine that doesn't work in one plane can work brilliantly in another, and P38 is a case in point, really.
So for the right-hand side, cameras ready for another pass by the Flying Bulls. So the 3 aircraft from that formation now rolling out downwind for runway 21. You can see the P38 at the front has configured the undercarriages down, P51 just doing the same, and then the Corsair will follow. They'll be landing as we get ready to slow it down a little bit more, I think, James, as we get ready for something from a slightly earlier era.